The objective here is to ensure that as we age and go on with our lives, our brains get healthier and better instead of getting sicker, which is generally what happens if we're not conscious of what we should be doing to protect them. Welcome to this episode where we'll discuss the brain, covering topics like brain fog, personality, irritability, mood swings, mental health, and long-term Alzheimer's disease. From mental health struggles to discovery. This topic is very dear to my heart because I've experienced many mental health challenges in my early 20s, including depression, anxiety, dissociation, and panic attacks. During that phase, I realized I didn't understand very well how my brain functioned. The brain is still a very mysterious organ. We don't completely understand how it works yet. However, science is advancing and showing us some really interesting things. You might not know, but the way you eat significantly impacts your brain, and, in turn, how you feel on a daily basis and who you are as a person. Stabilizing glucose for mental health. For me, mental health was the primary issue. It took years to figure out how to start improving it until I discovered the world of glucose. I realized that frequent glucose spikes were worsening my mental health, triggering episodes of dissociation, increasing anxiety, and deepening depression. When I fixed my diet and stabilized my glucose levels, it marked the beginning of my healing journey, which all started with the brain. Today, I'll tell you more about the relationship between food, glucose, and different brain symptoms, followed by some easy tips to help your brain stay in optimal health. Brain fog. If you've never experienced brain fog, it feels like your brain has been replaced with cotton. You feel a bit underwater, your vision is not clear, your memory is messed up, and focusing becomes hard. Brain fog is a term for these symptoms indicating that your brain isn't functioning properly. Some people have it every day, while others experience it intermittently. For a long time, we had no idea what brain fog actually was, but now science is shedding light on this topic. Two scientific studies are particularly interesting. The first, effects of differences in postprandial glycemia on cognitive functions in healthy middle-aged subjects, showed that what we eat in the morning impacts cognitive performance, memory, and whether we experience brain fog. A breakfast causing a big glucose spike results in worse memory and cognitive tests, while a breakfast that keeps glucose levels steady results in better brain function. The second study, the mechanisms of glycemic variability. Accelerate diabetic central neuropathy and diabetic peripheral neuropathy in diabetic rats, found that frequent glucose spikes slowed down the speed of information transmission between brain cells. This phenomenon, called nerve conduction velocity, indicates that glucose spikes create a state of inflammation and insulin resistance in the brain, slowing down neuron signaling and resulting in brain fog. Mood and irritability. The role of glucose levels. One interesting study is titled, "Low Glucose Relates to Greater Aggression in Married Couples." The study involved over 100 couples, each given a voodoo doll representing their spouse. Participants were instructed to insert a pin into the doll whenever their partner irritated them. After 3 weeks, researchers found that participants with stable glucose levels had fewer pins in their dolls, indicating less irritation. Conversely, those with frequent low glucose levels had significantly more pins, showing higher irritation. This study illustrates how glucose levels impact personality and relationships. The link between food, glucose, and mental health. The relationship between glucose and mental health is an emerging field. Studies show that glucose spikes increase inflammation in the body and brain, potentially leading to symptoms like depression and anxiety. The brain, protected by the blood-brain barrier, still feels the effects of glucose spikes and inflammation. For me, stabilizing glucose levels was the foundation for improving my mental health. Therapy, including EMDR, helped me process difficult emotions and trauma, but stabilizing glucose was the first crucial step. Insulin resistance and depression. A study titled Incident Major Depressive Disorder predicted by 3 measures of insulin resistance. A Dutch cohort study followed about 600 participants for 9 years. Initially free of insulin resistance and mental health issues, those who developed insulin resistance had an 89% increased risk of developing major depression. This study shows the strong connection between insulin resistance, glucose spikes, inflammation, and mental health. Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease, often referred to as type 3 diabetes or diabetes of the brain, is increasingly linked to glucose and insulin resistance. People with high midlife glucose levels have a significantly higher risk of developing Alzheimer's later in life. Some studies even suggest that cognitive decline may be reversible with significant dietary changes, highlighting the importance of maintaining steady glucose levels for long-term brain health. Top glucose hacks for brain health. Here are some of the best glucose hacks for brain health. 1. Have a savory breakfast, not a sweet one. As shown in studies, sweet breakfasts lead to glucose spikes, resulting in poor cognitive function and brain fog. 2. Veggie starter. Before lunch or dinner, have a plate of vegetables. The fiber in veggies helps reduce glucose spikes during the meal. 3. Never eat sugar on an empty stomach. If you want to eat sugar, have it at the end of a meal to slow its absorption and reduce glucose spikes. 4. Move after eating. Use your muscles for 10 minutes after meals by walking, cleaning, or doing simple exercises to help stabilize glucose levels. I hope you enjoyed the science behind this topic. If you want to improve your brain health, studying your glucose levels is a great place to start. See you next time.